I'm like so behind right now. I'm just now doing this. I still got to do Jurassic World Dominion. I still got to do Stranger Things Season 4. I never even did Love, Death, and Robots Volume 3. Hell, I still didn't even do Sonic 2. I gotta do Obi-Wan Episode 4. Episode 5 just came out. B-Boy Blues is out. Gotta watch that. Like, I need the powers of Hiro Nakamura or Piper Hollowell from Charmed so I can stop the world. So I can have time to put out videos. Cause my God. Welcome to my Safe Gayven. Thank you guys so much for clicking on another video and joining me here on the Black Gay Comic Geek channel. If this is your first time checking out my channel, thank you so much. Hey, how's it going? My name is Michael. I call myself the Black Gay Comic Geek, and I always say the things that I love to talk about on my channel has blood, sex, gore, and magic, or any variation of the four. So I like to talk about superheroes. I like to talk about comic books. I like to talk about video games. I like to talk action movies. I like to talk animation. I like to talk about horror movies. I like to talk about fantasy, and I like to talk about sci-fi, and I love to talk about black representation. So if that's something that you are interested in, if you think representation matters and representation equals normalization, and you love the fact that there is a black gay comic geek reviewing movies and giving that queer perspective in the movie review space, do me a favor and please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. But if you are already subscribed and you want my channel to grow, you support your boy, which thank you so much. First of all, you could do me a favor and hit that like button. It'll really help with the YouTube algorithm and getting this video and my channel out there and getting more eyes on it. And also there's this new feature on YouTube, kind of like when I go live, there's a feature called a super like where you can basically donate to the channel on every video. You don't have to wait till I go live to do so. So thanks for the people that left super chats, that have hit the like button, that have subscribed. All the support that I've gotten on this channel over the years is incredible and so welcome, and just, it tells me that I'm on the right track. But anyway, we are here to talk about the latest movie from Pixar Studios, one of the best studios, not even just animation studios, but just the best movie studio out there. And the movie is called Lightyear. I would like to thank Disney and Pixar for allowing me the opportunity to see an early screener. And so yeah, Pixar Lightyear tells the story of Buzz Lightyear as he embarks on an intergalactic adventure with a group of ambitious recruits and his robot companion. And a lot of people know of this property right here, Toy Story. It's one of Pixar's biggest franchise and one of its most beloved. And it's Pixar's first franchise, and one of the major characters in Toy Story is the character, the toy of Buzz Lightyear, played by Tim Allen, who became a conservative trash Republican over the years. But that's another story. Well, unlike the thing that what makes this movie different and not related to Toy Story at all, despite the somewhat of a connection of it, where Buzz Lightyear in the Toy Story movies is a toy based off of Andy's favorite movie. Well, this is that movie. And so with that, because this movie is based off of the actual character and not the toy, you have Chris Evans, who is voicing the role of Buzz Lightyear. You also have Uzo Aduba from Orange is the New Black voicing Alicia, Buzz Lightyear's best friend. You got Keke Palmer, Taika Waititi. Taika Waititi is in damn near everything. Not even just collecting his bag from being a director, but he's also getting money from being an like he's in this, Our Flag Means Death, which if you haven't seen my review for that, click the link up here. You also have Bill Hader, Josh Brolin, and many others in this movie. And it's funny because way back when they released the trailer for this movie, back when I was still watching trailers, now I'm like, they reveal too much in these movies. I'm not watching the trailer. That's actually what I thought about this Lightyear trailer. I was like, I feel like they showed the entire movie. I could pretty much piece together the whole movie with this, but I'll get to that later. But the point that I was making is, like, when they released the trailer for this movie, and then actually when I saw the movie, I was like, never in my life have I wanted to sleep and been attracted to Buzz Lightyear until they had Chris Evans play him, because they made Buzz look like Chris Evans. And I mean, Chris Evans is Chris, like, that's America's ass right there. I mean, just look at the difference between the two of these characters right here. Like, obviously they're both the same character, but like, you can't tell me this version of Buzz isn't hot. And then also, like, when he has his hair out, when he's not wearing the purple balaclava, the whole movie, I leaned over to my friend. I released my first reactions out of the theater with a fellow content creator of mine and friend, Nikki Marina, and I leaned over to her and I was just like, I just want to play through his hair right now. She was like, right? Like, I want that version. I want that version of Buzz Lightyear as a toy. Cause, yeah, Chris Evans is hot. But anyway, let me stop being thirsty and go back to what I was mentioning just a few moments ago where I said, based on the trailer, I thought I was going to be able to piece together this whole movie and I know what this movie was going to be about. No, that is not the case when I actually sat down to watch this movie. Like, there were especially like the twists at the end. Like, I was like, oh, I thought I knew what this movie was going to be about, but absolutely not. And overall, like, I really enjoyed this movie. Shout out to the director, Angus MacLane. He's worked for Pixar for years, going all the way back to A Bug's Life in 1999, but I believe this is the first time he's actually directed a Pixar movie. And this movie was like visually gorgeous, especially with this movie taking place in space. Like, the moments where Buzz is in a ship and he goes into like light speed, and just the different ways these planets look and the creatures on these planets, like, everything just popped off the screen and looked incredible. And not only just that, but despite wanting to sleep with Chris Evans' version of Lightyear and really liking his character, this movie now has my favorite character in all of Pixar films. The character of Socks the cat. I've never, granted, I want a pet, but I was like, I can't really have a pet right now. But after watching this movie now, I'm like, I want a cat. And of course, I'm going to be disappointed because it's not going to be as awesome as Socks the cat. Like, I fell in love with Socks the cat. And interestingly enough, the person that voiced Socks the cat, he's not typically an actor. He's mostly an animator. Again, working with Pixar, and he's voiced some Pixar characters. I believe this is like his first major role in terms of voice acting. He's voiced like side characters and additional voices in other Pixar movies. But like, Peter Sohn as Socks the cat, like, he was an incredible voice actor. And interestingly enough, he also directed The Good Dinosaur, and he's going to be directing the new Pixar movie called Elementals. But yeah, he needs to be another Taika Waititi and other directors in the sense of, like, he's both in front of and behind the camera. Because like I said, I love the character of Socks, and a lot of that had to do with his voice acting. Like, that character was so funny, it was endearing. That character of Socks brought humanity, or more humanity and compassion, to Buzz Lightyear. And I really love seeing the two of them interact with each other. You could see the love that Buzz started to develop for this robotic cat, and the love that this robotic cat developed for Buzz Lightyear. Speaking of love, I love that the fact that this movie, this Pixar movie, this animated movie, this major Disney movie, this sci-fi movie, this fantasy movie had Black women as the center in leading roles, starting with Uzo Aduba's character, Alicia, and the best friendship that she had with Buzz Lightyear, even though it is a little tropey in the sense of, like, you always gotta have the black best friend, right? And not even just having the black best friend, but it's always the white one that's the more prominent protagonist, and the black best friend is there to lift up that character. But at least what makes Alicia differently is they gave her a life. They gave her a backstory. Like, there's a line that she even says in this movie, like, I lived a life. And I at least appreciated that. With that said, however, I would be remiss. Obviously, I say I talk about queer representation. My name is BlackGayComicGeek. I bring a perspective that you probably wouldn't hear on most mainstream YouTubers. Like, this movie faced controversy because this is back when Disney was, and they're still a little bit in hot water with regards to, like, Pixar employees and other Disney employees walking out and striking because Disney has constantly censored, specifically Pixar, and trying to remove a lot of queer romances from their movies. I believe Turning Red was supposed to have a queer relationship with one of the main characters, but yet Disney was like, take that out. And this is something I've said plenty of times on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok if you're not. But, like, I was like, yeah, at least in terms of, like, Marvel and DC specifically, I was like, way more of the superheroes that you know and love would be queer had it not been for the straight agenda. Because it makes sense. Going back to also to Disney and Marvel, which I posted the video here on YouTube as well, I was like, and also, not even just that, but way more characters in comics would not be straight and white as they are today, because most of these characters were created during the height of Jim Crow. It's the same thing with regards to this, with regards to these animated movies. Pixar, especially now that, you know, queer people have more political power, and a lot of these people working on these movies are queer themselves. They're trying to inject queer characters, but again, corporation overlords and the straight agenda tried to remove it. So there was some controversy with regards to this movie because Disney removed a same-sex kiss, which the character of Alicia, she's a lesbian. They removed the same-sex kiss from the movie, but because of all the protests and everything going on with Disney and Pixar and LGBTQ relationships, they ended up putting the kiss back into the movie. And I mean, yes, it's groundbreaking. 10 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago, something like this would not even be in a movie, let alone be in a conversation. So, yeah, but at the same time, I'm just like, again, this is just another example. It was a blink and you'll miss it moment. It wasn't even, these people are supposed to be married, and it's still just like the same problem I had with Eternals. It wasn't even like a passionate kiss. It was just like, people don't really kiss like that. Now granted, I'm not expecting like a full tongue down, but at least more than just, like usually when characters kiss and move, it's like they at least hold it for a little bit. And it's more like Aang and Katara kissed longer at the end of Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I know I say things like this, and I do have people, because they're in my comments, they're in my comments as well, not to be negative, like, oh, these people aren't being rude, but like, I know people are, and there are some people that are probably watching like, okay, but if you are frustrated about the lack of queer representation, or frustrated about the way they treat black people, or like me talking about the black best friend trope. If you're frustrated with these narratives time and time again in these movies, why do you keep watching and supporting these movies? Truth of the matter is, like, what else am I gonna do? Like, where else would I find like, I gotta watch something. And the truth of the matter is, no matter what major corporation, what major business, whether it's a movie studio, where you get your groceries, etc., you look into their business practices or whatever they do, like, you're gonna find trash and anti-black and anti-gay narratives somewhere in the sauce. Like, you can't go anywhere and not find anti-blackness or anti-LGBTQ rhetoric. So it's like, what do you have? It's like people that say, don't shop at Amazon because Jeff Bezos is trash. He doesn't pay his workers. But it's like, okay, don't go to Amazon, but guess what? Walmart's no better. This place is no better. And then not only just that, but it's like the same vibes that people are like, oh, if America is so racist, if you hate America so much, if you think America is such an anti-gay country, why don't you go move somewhere else? And it's like, no. Just because I have a problem with the way these companies are doing things doesn't mean I shouldn't want more and demand for more and fight for more. Because just like I said, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, like, I wouldn't even be taught, like, this wouldn't even be a conversation. Just even a small peck of a kiss wouldn't even be in any Pixar movie. And wouldn't be, it hasn't been. So yeah, despite me being frustrated, are things maybe slowly getting better? I guess. But at the same time, if it's not for voices like mine, granted, I say voices like mine, my voice is like minuscule, like microscopic compared to other people and other YouTubers and other content creators and other movie reviewers. Like, if anything, this video is probably gonna get 100 views, and that's not to diminish that. Like, if 10 people watch my videos, that's incredible. That's 10 strangers that are willing to hear my opinion. And who am I? It's a nobody, but I'm turning, in the grand scheme of things, I just say my voice is minuscule. So it takes, but at the end of the day, it still takes people fighting and calling for better to demand for better. Just like once upon a time, Jim Crow used to be the law of the land. And while things aren't better for black people, Jim Crow is still not, at least for the most part, the law of the land. There's still some issues, but my point is, you still have to fight for better to get better. And so that's why I still watch movies like this, why I still support things like Marvel and DC, etc., despite their issues. Because also at the same time, there are queer and black and trans and other people working for these companies. And so I can do that while also supporting my own. And then even when you support your own, like I talk about all the time when it comes, because I have a ton of indie black comics and black books, fantasy, etc., etc. But even with those, you don't really find, because I say all the time, a lot of times I have to choose between seeking black representation and queer representation. Very rarely do you get the intersectionality of both. So even when I get black media, I don't really get major queer black characters. And then sometimes when you do get queer black characters, they're stereotyped. Like, even think about Insecure. I love Issa Rae, but like, how many black queer characters were there in Insecure? I mean, she has her brother, but did her brother really get a storyline? No, not really. But anyway, had to address that, had to get that out the way. And it's not gonna be the first time or the last time I bring this up, because like I said in my intro, I like to talk about black representation and queer representation, and a lot of times the lack thereof in sci-fi, fantasy, superhero, comic book, video game properties. Especially major characters. And speaking of the lack thereof, like, again, going back to what I said earlier, again, like, I love that despite Alicia not getting as much prominence as I would have liked, especially considering she is Buzz's best friend, I do love that she was still there. She had a role. She had a huge impact on Buzz in his life. And then also, you have the character of Izzy, played by Keke Palmer, who is Alicia's granddaughter. And I love Keke Palmer. Like, I've always loved Keke Palmer. Keke Palmer needs to get more roles and more prominence in Hollywood. But the character of Izzy, I like the character of Izzy. I loved her dynamic with Buzz, and I liked how different it was from his relationship with Alicia. And with characters like Izzy, with characters like Alicia, with characters like Moon Girl, with characters like Riri Williams, who's also getting her own Disney Plus show eventually and showing up in Wakanda Forever, with characters like, now we got Reva and Obi-Wan. Like, I love that there are more black girls and black women characters getting more prominence, so little black girls could see themselves on screen, could cosplay as one of these characters. And I want that for more black people, more Asian people, more indigenous people. Like, and I've said before, when I used to cosplay, I'm kind of retired, but I was like, for the most part, if I wanted to cosplay as a gay black male superhero, there aren't really any. Like, there's Prodigy from X-Men who's bi, not to say bi people aren't part of the queer spectrum, but I'm just saying specifically, like, I'm Black Gay Comic Geek. If I wanted to cosplay as a black gay superhero, I'm like, who would I cosplay as? Like, there's not that many. There's Josiah Power from DC, but when's the last time you saw Josiah Power in comics? Hashtag representation equals normalization. But with that said, I said everything I needed to say, I think, regarding this movie. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I thought it was gorgeous. This directing was incredible. I love the characters. I want to sleep with one of the characters, Buzz Lightyear. I love the black women characters. And I really enjoyed this movie. I would definitely get it on Blu-ray. I definitely would like to see it again. And yeah, I would say for me, Lightyear, despite some of the issues I had with queer representation and, you know, Alicia being the black best friend, and I wish she had a little bit more prominence, I would still give Lightyear a blockbuster. But the question is, at the moment that you've seen this video, have you got a chance to see Lightyear? What did you think about it? If you haven't seen it, are you interested in seeing it? Let me know all of your thoughts regarding this video in the comment section below. Also, be sure to like, share, comment, interact on this video for the all-gay-rhythm, the algorithm. And if this is your first time checking out one of my videos, please check out the other videos on my channel. If you like what you see, please subscribe for more. Once again, if you can, hit that like button. It'll help with the YouTube algorithm. And tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. And as always, I will catch you guys next time. To infinity